Here's some more cowboys in Wyoming. I wanted to do some crazy shit on this project. Craig and I went up to San Francisco, and I was going to leather bars in San Francisco, trying to find guys to photograph, and then they all, for some reason, were really hostile. I don't know why. All I was doing was hanging out and looking for somebody that I could photograph, and I didn't see anybody, so I just eventually left. But they were really mean to me. At every bar I went to, I don't know the protocol, so maybe I was doing something wrong. But these two gentlemen were great. Lots to look at in that picture. This is Miss Iowa in 2000, who most people that look at this picture don't even notice what's odd about it. Yeah, it takes a while. Unless somebody points it out, you kind of just don't even notice. But she was great. She was awesome. I think she appeared, she did the swimsuit thing. She had a prosthetic hand, and she also appeared without the hand in the competition. And this is just a topless girl in Vegas. This is a matchmaker with her client, a young Russian girl that's been married. I mean, she's like young. I think she's like in her 20s, and she's been married, I think, 3 or 4 times already. So she, is a matchmaker who sets up these beautiful Russian girls with wealthy guys. The gentleman the guys on the right are This is a really good example of how we find people. We were driving through West Virginia. We were at some truck stop or gas station and ran into a cop, and I told him what I'm doing. And he goes, "Oh man, I could show you stuff that you wouldn't believe." And I'm like, "Well, I'll make it worth your while. When time you get off?" He goes, "I get off at 2:30, I think. So I'll meet you here at 2:30, and you give us a tour of your county." He goes, "You got it." So we did, and he showed us some other pictures that I may show you later if we get time. But it started raining. It started pouring so hard that the camera didn't get hurt, but the strobes that we used just got soaked in the pouring rain, and they wouldn't work. And we were stuck in West Virginia with no equipment that worked, so I had to leave. But I did get some photos that day. So we left. But I said, "We got to come back." He goes, "Oh, yeah, you got to come back because you haven't seen anything yet." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "When you come back, bring a video camera." I'm like, "Well, I'm not doing video." He goes, "No, listen, bring a video camera. I'm telling you." And I'm not into doing video, so I'm like, I didn't bring a video camera. We came back, and the first thing the cop says, like, "Did you bring your video camera?" I'm like, "No." He goes, "I told you to bring your video camera." I'm a photographer. Let's just show me what you're going to show me. So he takes me down this windy road, and it turns into like a dirt road, and then it turns into something that's not really a road anymore. And the houses just get more and more dilapidated as we go down. In a town called Odd, West Virginia. That's no shit. The name of the town, if you look on a map, it's Odd, O-D-D. And we come to this where there's no more houses anymore. It's just a muddy patch, and there's 2 shacks on both sides of the road. We came around the bend, and there's all these people, and they're running around with their pants around their ankles, and they're barking, and they're like yelling at our car, and it was just the weirdest thing ever. It was like Deliverance times 8. And the cop goes, "I told you, you needed a video camera for this." And he was exactly right, because this picture, as interesting as it is, does not even come close to doing justice to what chaos was going on. The guy on the left of this picture, all he was wearing were jeans, and he'd run around in circles kicking garbage cans, and his pants were like way too big for him. They just kept falling. So his pants were basically around his ankles all the time. He was tripping over them and just kicking garbage cans and barking. The other 2 guys were just, I remember we pulled up, and they were just staring at you, and their eyes going like in 2 different directions and drooling. And there's two sisters as well, and it was just the craziest thing. So there are these, I believe, inbred family. I think the parents were siblings, and there was a cousin who was kind of looking over the family. None of them can take care of themselves. They're all just almost like wild animals. They don't speak. None of them have. There's some teeth. There's like 2 teeth among these 3 guys, and the eyes are all going in different directions. I don't know if you can tell. So this cousin, who's totally normal, is taking care of them and really protective. So we pulled up, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is like, I can't believe this is going on." So I said to Axel, I go, "Set up right over here on the side of the house. I'm going to go over there and talk to." There seemed to be some people. I went to the house that these people were hanging out in, and they just pointed over to the other house. So I go to the other house, and there's 3 people in the living room, And it's middle of the day, it's warm and sunny, but they're in this house, and they're all like sitting on the couch just staring at TV. And I'm like, excuse me? And before I could even say anything, they go, sorry, sir, we just had a death in the family, and we're not interested. And I'm like, well, so I tried to give my spiel. I say, I'm a photographer from California, and I'm working on this project. Like, I'm sorry, sir, we just had a death in the family, and we'd rather not be bothered. I'm like, oh, come, this is so sweet. I can't, like, I mean, you know how things go. I mean, with photography, this is my opportunity now. If I come back in a week, their defenses will be up, or they'll know about me, or it just won't work. There's a very good chance that it wouldn't work. So I'm like, I got to make this happen somehow. So good at thinking on my feet. The neighbor who's like, I don't know why they don't let you take their picture. It'd be nice. They'd love it. They don't have any pictures of themselves. I go, no, it'd be great. So I said, tell you what, let me take some photos of you, and I'll show it to them, and maybe that'll get the ball rolling. So I did. I took some pictures of this neighbor who was very helpful. And I went over to them and said, look, I'm so sorry you had a death in the family. And they hadn't buried her yet. They said they were getting ready to have a funeral. I said, I think it'd be lovely if we took some instant photos, these Polaroids of the entire family, and you can include it in the casket. And they go, oh, that's a great idea. I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea. That was the easy part. The hard part was getting these wild animals in front of the camera. One or two of them were kind of cooperative, but the third one that just was wild. You know, the camera would be here, and I'd say, all right, you guys have to stand like right here. And every time he'd be finished pulling his pants up and kicking the garbage can, he'd run and he'd stand like 2 feet in front of the lens. I'm like, no, that won't work. And then the second I said anything negative to him in any way, just like that, he'd kick somebody and run. And this went on for half an hour, and we just couldn't get him to cooperate. And then finally, he just did what I asked, and I shot it, and I got like 3 frames, and that was it, and we're done. It was a miracle that I got this picture. When the cousin pulled up, he wanted to just kill me. I remember when he pulled up in his pickup truck, slammed on the brakes, and he goes, there's not going to be any photography here, because I was setting up. And when he pulled up, we were setting up, and it was hard. Very stressful. It was one of those things that just worked out so well.